The darkest moments in TV history, Nick Crowley, number 7. Yo! Drop a like, nigga.
Really, nigga?
Yes.
Under the water there are traps. Old cars, bedsteads, weaved, hidden depths. It's the perfect place for an accident.
On the 29th of June, 2025, a group of teenagers ventured into the Miriam River in Bacabal, Brazil, for a quick morning swim. But after several minutes in the water, the group
Bacabal, Brazil.
started to realize that one of its members, 13-year-old Raissa, was no longer beside them. And after calling out her name and searching the surrounding area, the realization set in. Raissa had disappeared. It was now likely somewhere in that murky water around them. The news sent shockwaves throughout the community, and straight away locals filled the area to help find this girl. But their attempts were all futile. And with each passing moment, it grew more and more likely that Raissa had tragically drowned, with the search efforts shifting to recovery efforts the next morning. The tragedy led to various news stations arriving on the scene to help document the search, and for one reporter, Lenildo Frazão, he couldn't help but view Raissa's story as a cautionary tale. The Miriam River is particularly unassuming from the surface.
Dude, 13, bro. Jeez.
Which is exactly what made it so dangerous, since it carried with it an unexpectedly strong current and a bottom that was littered with sudden drop-offs, as even in shallow sections, one step could plunge you into deep water without warning. As a result, tragedies like this had sadly happened here before, and for Lenildo, this was the perfect time to highlight the river's dangers, in the hope of preventing one from ever happening again. And he had a unique idea to help achieve this.
Huh?
Rather than just explaining how dangerous the river was, Lenildo wanted to demonstrate it. And so he began to take off his shoes and his pants before entering the water.
No way. What?
With his microphone in his hand.
Foi justamente aqui, pessoal. Nós vamos entrar agora na água aqui para mostrar para vocês o local. Olha, a gente já vê que aqui a água é muito forte, ó. E vai descendo, ó. Vixe Maria, vai descendo aqui, viu? Ó.
The camera rolled as he waded into the river, at first going just to the depths of his knees.
Bro, why did they let him do this?
Before the riverbed began to drop beneath him, sending the water all the way up to his chest.
Então, pessoal, e ainda tem a correnteza. Aqui já, olha, ó, passinho para frente, a água já tá praticamente.
And all while this happened, he spoke to the viewers at home about how unsafe this area could be, especially for unattended children who weren't strong swimmers. But even with most of his body now submerged, he wanted to take it even further in order to prove his point. And so he continued wading towards the center of the river, right in the direction of the noticeably fast-moving current.
Why would he do that? Why did they let him do that? Why is there like, dude, what the fuck?
Until suddenly...
Olha, andei pouquinho aqui, ó. A água já tá acima do meu peito, pra você ver a situação. Se eu andar pouquinho aqui, deixa eu ver aqui. Ó, vou andar mais. Ó a fundura.
This how we gonna have you in the Lil K.
No, it's not. Ui. Oh, shit, oh, shit.
Ó, vou andar mais. Ó a fundura aqui, ó. Ui.
What did he just do? Something just bit him?
Lenildo physically recoiled and let out a loud yell. He stood there for a moment, anxiously glaring into the water.
I'm confused. I don't know how waters work, so I don't know. Did he get bit? Like, what happened?
Before telling his crew, I think there's something down here underwater.
No! Oh my god, R.I.P. Oh my god.
Whatever he had touched in those murky depths didn't seem natural.
Oh my god.
With Lenildo describing it as being soft. And quickly, he made his way back to the shore, where he further explained why he was so shaken by the ordeal, admitting that what he stepped on felt like an arm. This is the exact moment that many believe Raissa was found, as just moments later, several locals would retrace Lenildo's steps and discover the 13-year-old's body in the same exact location. Raissa had died from an accidental drowning, as she wasn't a strong swimmer, and had likely fallen into the deep water where she was held down by the current. The exact conditions that—
Dude, what the fuck? Yeah, this is Nick Crowley. Oh, dude.
that Lenildo had been warning.
Wait, why is he even doing this in the fucking first place, bro? Nigga, we understand the current fast, dude. I don't give a fuck this nigga a reporter or not, bro. We get that.
The viewers about. when he unknowingly stepped on her corpse, with the entire ordeal culminating into what can only be described as one of the darkest moments in television history.
How far and what lengths have you gone to find
Bro, this nigga has to live with this for the rest of his life. I'm not gonna lie, bro. He just stepped on a... Oh, man. The darkest moments in TV history. I need a water. I need a blanket or like a teddy bear or something.
Individually, they're just like you and me. But together, they are a source of endless fascination. And we'll conduct a rigorous scientific experiment into twin telepathy.
The fuck is that? Fake ass Daniel Tiger. Use your head and then your feet. Nigga ain't shit. Nigga think he fly for real. Okay.
It was a peculiar sight. As traffic flowed through one of the UK's busiest roadways,
Is that a hood?
The M6, CCTV cameras captured two women walking down the narrow median,
Okay, I don't think that's a hood.
with a vehicle speeding past them on either side.
The Erickson twins.
These women were Sabina and Ursula Eriksson, 40-year-old identical twin sisters who grew up in Sweden, with Ursula eventually moving to the US and Sabina to Ireland. Just one day before this footage was taken, on May 16th, 2008, Ursula had made the long flight to visit Sabina at her home in Dublin.
Yeah.
But things got off to a troubling start when Sabina got into a verbal altercation with her husband and the father of her two kids, prompting both sisters to leave the house in the middle of the night without telling anyone. The next morning, the sisters emerged in the city of Liverpool, where they visited a police station and reported that Sabina's kids were in danger and were unsafe in her husband's care. Law enforcement briefly looked into the...
They're in Liverpool? Wait. Is this a stupid question? Where is Liverpool? I'm dead ass. Now might not be the time, but like, where is that? Where is Liverpool? I've only heard of Liverpool on FIFA.
The matter, but ultimately they didn't seem all too concerned with the children's well-being, and rather they seemed more troubled by the women themselves. Their behavior was just somewhat...
Liverpool, Birmingham, Amsterdam, all that shit. UK? Sounds about right.
Off. So much so that shortly after leaving the station, they were kicked off a public bus for exhibiting erratic behavior, which some passengers found threatening. And after the altercation, this erratic behavior continued. As for unknown reasons, the pair began walking towards the M6, and then eventually right onto it, where we see them now. It defied any sort of logic, and
The fuck is the M6? Is this a highway?
put them in an extremely
They got sidewalks on the highway in UK?
dangerous position, a position where one wrong move could lead to a horrific accident. And sure enough, that's exactly what would happen, though it was anything but accidental. Without warning, both women turned and then ran directly into the road, and for Sabina, directly into a car traveling in the fast lane. Immediately, local police were inundated with urgent calls about the ordeal, leading to a group of officers being dispatched to the scene. And coincidentally, the same group just so happened to have a camera crew following them as part of the show Motorway Cops. The show follows traffic officers as they handle their many daily encounters, ranging from mundane traffic infractions.
What the fuck, nigga? What? Dude. This the median? Are they drunk?
All the way to devastating
Were they drunk?
tragedies. And this segment seemed destined for the latter.
Lane 3 is obviously the
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Man, got it. No, hell no. I don't.
fastest lane in the motorway. Anyone being hit.
I don't even know like how you can describe that, bro. Or like explain that. Like, they either gotta be drunk, or I guess that was planned. But I feel like there's other ways to do that. No.
You're expecting serious injury, if not life-threatening.
Despite the officers fearing the worst, however, when they arrived on the scene, they were met with a surprising sight. Standing there before them was Ursula and Sabina, who despite being struck by a car at high speeds, appeared completely unharmed.
That's fucking drugs. These niggas is on fent. I've seen this shit, bro. Yo, dude, anybody that's on like speed or something, bro, like it's just they don't feel pain, bro.
In fact, both sisters were entirely calm, as they were shown casually speaking amongst themselves as if nothing ever happened. It was a miracle. And as the officers began trying to piece together the cause of this whole
Okay, yeah, so I was right. I was gonna say I mean, do it on purpose, I guess, but like, well, don't do it at all. Obviously, y'all don't do it at all. Dead ass, don't do the shit at all. But like, bro, I'm like, ain't there another way? Like, usually that's pretty rare to just walk on a fucking median. Like, I don't know, like, it's a lot of work.
Everyone at the scene began to breathe a collective sigh of relief.
Oh!
There was no way that any of them could have known that their roles had just been cast in one of the most disturbing television scenes of all time.
Right, what we've got is they were in the central res. They were trying to cross the Bravo, so as we approached, they hadn't seen us, mother. The red ones got knocked down by the red car over there. I've got an ambulance en route for her. Right. She seems all right, but I'm not a doctor. She has been knocked down.
Is she the one that speaks English or the other one?
Yes.
Right.
The other one, she's done.
Bro, what the fuck is she doing?
Single word being spoken, Ursula dashed into the middle of oncoming traffic and directly into the path of a massive truck traveling at over 60 miles per hour.
Oh my god, she wanted to do that.
It happened in a literal instant. There was hardly any chance to react, and before anyone could even begin to process what they had just witnessed, Sabina would also run into the road, not after her sister, but rather straight into the path of an oncoming Volkswagen.
Oh no! Mike Alpha, we need ambulance. Senior officers to the scene. We've got 2 possible fatals.
Within just seconds, this completely calm scene had turned to utter chaos, and both women were now lying on the pavement. Miraculously, they both were still alive. Sabina was stable but knocked unconscious.
What the fuck, bro? They're invincible, bro. What the fuck? Dude, that's literally God. Dude. What?
While Ursula was in rough shape.
Bro, they're still breathing.
Her legs had been pulverized by the truck, with paramedics describing them as looking as if they had exploded.
Oh
and while
my
she
God.
lay there on the pavement, she was wide awake and experiencing
Oh my
everything.
God.
Within seconds of receiving medical attention, Ursula began to cry out. But strangely, it wasn't in pain.
Bitch got 9 lives.
Rather, she was yelling at the paramedics, cursing, and even attacking them for trying to help her.
Calm down.
Dude,
Calm down.
how you gonna yell at me that your legs don't fucking work?
Very aggressive, spitting at me.
Shouting things like, "I recognize you. I know you're not real."
Come on, you've hit your head. Calm down. We are the police.
Oh my
we are
God.
The police.
It was clear
I don't even know what drug this
that
is.
she was suffering from some sort of delusion. But while officers had their hands full trying to subdue her, things were about to get even more hectic as Sabina started to regain consciousness.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
She had been brutally struck by a car, as evidenced by the damage to the vehicle itself.
Holy
but
shit!
Like Ursula, she also appeared almost entirely unfazed as she stood up and began to scream to her sister, "They're going to steal your organs."
First off, y'all need to take this shit to the fucking UFC. I'm not gonna lie, they need some shit like this. Y'all niggas don't get, bro. What the fuck? It's like it don't even phase them, bro. They just be taking. They not even taking punches. They taking vehicle struckings.
One of the officers tried
What do you mean they gonna steal your organs, bro? Who does that?
hold her back, but Sabina resisted.
Stay still.
Oscar Tango 33.
Oh shit!
Eventually shoving the woman to the ground before once again taking off into oncoming traffic.
No way in hell that she gets hit again and fucking survives. There's no way. And why the fuck? I'm not gonna lie, dude. Are there any cops here? Like is it all just like ambulance people? I'm acting like I know what the fuck's going on, bro. I don't know. I'm laughing, but it's not funny, bro. I don't know where the cops is, bro. Like, do you even like detain her? I don't know what happens.
No! Stay! Stay there. Calm down, calm down, calm down.
Thankfully, this time the cars managed to avoid her,
Oh
but it
my
would
God.
take 6 officers to finally restrain her, and even with that many people, it was still a struggle, as her strength was unlike anything that they had seen in a woman her size. And with Sabina now subdued, the chaos was finally over. In the following moments, Ursula was airlifted to a local hospital where she
Okay, so do they get... okay. Do they get charged with anything? No. Is that like... what exactly did they do? I guess walking on the median, right? That's like... that's not good. I think they get charged, right? But like... what else do you charge them with? They gotta find something in their bloodstream. Well, I guess the other chick, her legs don't even fucking work. So I don't even know if you can get piss samples or something from her. You don't even know what she's on.
went an extensive, yet
She needs to go to bed. You know that? You know, you can say that.
successful emergency surgery, while Sabina was
Oh, she's good.
hospital where she underwent an extensive, yet successful emergency surgery.
Bro, not only did you get hit with 2 cars and your legs exploded, they was able to put you back together like Lego pieces. You better be in that church every Sunday, sis. You better be there every Sunday. The hell?
While Sabina was shockingly found to have no injuries, which allowed her to be discharged into police custody after just 5 hours, where she was promptly arrested and sentenced to 1 day in prison for assaulting an officer.
How did she get 1 day in prison? What?
As well as trespassing on the
Who serves 1 day? Bro, who gives out 1 day of prison?
motorway. And with both women now safe, one question burned at the forefront of everyone's minds. Why had the Erickson twins done this? Well, the immediate theory was that this was all the result of drug use. But surprisingly, when given toxicology
Hey, she stuck her with that good left too. I ain't gonna lie, that looked like Dustin Poirier.
tests, no drugs or alcohol would be found in either of their systems. They were entirely sober during this ordeal, which left only one plausible theory, that this was all the result of some sort of mental breakdown, with both women somehow experiencing its effects at the same.
There's no way they did that sober. No way. No way in hell. No. Nope. They must have not. I don't know who tested them. USADA? USADA tested fucking Brock Lesnar and let that nigga smooth. I'm not believing it, bro. They got something.
Same time. Today, this case is used as one of the most glaring examples of a psychological disorder known as folie à deux, in which one person suffering from delusions transmits said delusions onto a different person, leading to both people experiencing the same misconstrued version of reality. And while this is only a theory, it's clear that regardless of the how
That sound like bullshit to me.
or why, these women were extremely mentally unwell during this event.
Man, if a nigga look me dead in my eye and say, they finna take your organs, Christian, you gotta run. Who the fuck are you talking to? Who's gonna... Nigga, what? In what way in hell... Bro, that shit not... No, that shit not working with me, bro. Fuck no, nigga. What? But maybe that is real. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe that's everybody that listened to Fresh and Fit.
In fact, during the TV program, an officer even mentioned that this could be a 136.
Yeah.
Is she under arrest at the moment?
Well, 136 if she is.
Which is a code that allows law enforcement to hold people on account of their mental health to assure that they're safe to return to the public. But shockingly, not only did this never happen, but Sabina was released without ever being given a mental health assessment. In fact, she was never so much as looked over by a mental health professional, and was instead released the very next day after the incident. On top of this,
oh my god, so what else did she do? Oh my god, that means it doesn't end.
She was released, she was given no information about Ursula's whereabouts or her condition,
oh
or
my
even
god.
resources to help find her way home, leaving Sabina still mentally unwell and now stranded in an unfamiliar city, not knowing what happened to her sister. And sadly, her delusions were far from over.
Yeah, that means it keeps going.
As she left the police station on the 19th of May, Sabina had nowhere to go, and so she began to wander, carrying her belongings in the same evidence bag that the police had given her earlier that day. Eventually, she would happen across 2 men walking their dogs, and as she stopped to pet them, Sabina asked the owners where the nearest hotel was. But seemingly recognizing that the woman wasn't well, one of the men, Glenn Hollenshed, offered to have her stay at his place.
No. You asked me where the nearest hotel is. It's down the street. Take a right. You're not coming over to my spot. What? In what way in hell would I bring a straight, bro? I can't even be too mad at dude, man. Yes I can. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, yes I can. Yes I can. He's trying to be nice, but he being too nice. I'm not gonna call you a bitch. I ain't that nice. I'll tell you where it's at, you know? I'll give you $5. You can get you a biggie bag and you'll be straight for today. I need you tomorrow. You need to figure it the fuck out.
To which Sabina happily obliged. But once inside Holinshed's home, Sabina began acting extremely paranoid, checking the windows constantly and believing that her cigarettes had been poisoned. Despite this, though, Holinshed was patient, and he helped her make calls around the area.
No, you're not using my phone either. You gotta go.
To track down Ursula, while making sure that Sabina was eating and drinking. The following day, Holinshed was preparing dinner for Sabina when he stepped out of the house to ask his neighbor for tea. But just minutes after—
See, like, that's what you don't— He is just being too nice. He's being way too nice.
Returning home with the bags,
being way too
he
nice.
would once again step out of the house. Only this time, he was completely covered in blood. As he stumbled and screamed, "She stabbed me." As he collapsed to the ground, the neighbor rushed over to try and help, but the damage was already done. Holinshed would let out one final soft whisper, saying, "Look after my dog for me," before breathing his final breath.
Dude!
For unknown reasons, in that house, Sabina had stabbed Glenn Holinshed, and by the time law enforcement arrived, she was long gone, having fled the house with a hammer in her hand, which she used to strike her head repeatedly as she mumbled incoherently and
Bro, what the fuck? Whoa, bro, I'm so confused. Walked
down the sidewalk. Eventually, a man passing by tried to intervene, but Sabina immediately attacked, brandishing a roof tile that she had hidden in her pocket and using it to strike him on the head, nearly knocking him unconscious. It would take several minutes for police to finally catch up with her, but just like the day prior, she took off, leading to a chase that ended with Sabina being surrounded on a 40-foot tall bridge that passed over a highway, and recognizing that there was nowhere left for her to go, she jumped. Somehow, Sabina would cheat death once again, and despite suffering—
Bro, no way! Bro! Oh my god, there's no way! There's no way that she's still alive! How the fuck is she still alive?
Broken ankles and a skull fracture. She was alive. And after a lengthy recovery, she was put on trial for the murder of Glenn Holinshed, where she would never give a single comment as to why she did what she did, leaving her motive a total mystery to this day. Though it seems clear that it was at least partially a result of her delusions, with the defense pointing to Folie à Deux as a potential explanation. And in the end, it was deemed that Sabina was not mentally fit to make decisions at the time of the slaying.
She's not mentally fit to do anything. Nigga, she not mentally fit to breathe air.
And ultimately, she was given a prison sentence—
Yeah, this bitch is a murderer.
Just 5 years.
She got 5 fucking years for murdering?!
This is truly one of the most disturbing TV cases of all time. And for as shocking as it is on its own, what I find most chilling is the fact that these officers mentioned holding her for a psychiatric evaluation, which ultimately never happened.
She under arrest,
Well, 136 if she is.
It was a massive oversight. In fact, it was so glaring that the police department allegedly contacted the show and asked them to remove this entire section. As if they had just followed through with that code 136, Sabina would have been held for longer than just one night, which meant that she not only
don't try to cover that shit up. Nah, y'all niggas fucked up.
Been given the help she needed.
Oh my gosh, she might actually be out. When did this happen? Because this looks like this happened before 2020. No way. She might be out and doing the same shit. When you're driving on the highway, actually no, don't turn your brights on. That's not smart.
But she also never would have had the chance to meet Glenn Holinshed that fateful day. Since her release from prison in 2011,
oh my god,
Sabina promptly disappeared from the public eye, and neither she nor Ursula has ever been heard from again, meaning
no way.
We have no idea whatever happened to the Erickson twins.
No way. No way that these people are still alive. Bro, my head is itching. I think it's because of them. There's no way that these people... Well, what the fuck? Like, there's a literal murderer, like, walking around. Maybe. Possibly. Probably not. Maybe. I mean, hopefully not. I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully not. To be honest, hopefully she ran on another fucking highway and got hit in GTA 5. And the driver stayed alive and I don't know, in GTA 5.
They just simply tend to be making the same decisions at the same time.
She's more than a murderer, nigga. She's the female Bane. Nigga, she took hits like fucking, like prom Tony Ferguson.
Thinking in the same way.
Oh no.
It's December 2021.
Oh, just like one of them American Idol Johns?
A couple
I don't remember nothing from American Idol when it was like popping, bro. I just remember getting a toy from like, well, I think it was like McDonald's or something, bro. And then I lost it. And one day I was just like mad as shit. I think it was like a microphone or something. I don't know. It was cool. I used to fuck with it, to be honest. Only for the toys though. That's back when life was good.
Gives a warm welcome as they walk onto the stage, ready to compete in the Croatian television show Super Talent, the country's version of America's Got Talent. But it's clear this excitement from the crowd wasn't shared by the show's host, who turned to someone standing behind the camera and flashed the unmistakable look of concern.
Why?
In the minutes prior, the audience at home was introduced to the pair, 34-year-old singer Roman Bernata and his wife, 44-year-old violinist Bianca Kolompar, along with their child, who would be watching on as the two shared their musical talents with the world. In their day-to-day lives, Roman was a professional goalkeeper for a local soccer team, while Bianca was a professional violinist with a doctorate in music.
Oh, so these niggas were successful. They got money.
And while on paper this all seems fairly normal, it was immediately clear to those watching that this couple was anything but. The two frequently went on long-winded and bizarre rants, with Bianca opening up about her breast enlargement surgery.
Yo, why is she talking about this? Her titty's fake as a bitch. Well, I thought we all knew that. I wasn't gonna point out the obvious, but I'm glad that she said it. I mean, that's cool that you said that with your kid right next to you. That's, that's fine, I guess.
And the two discussing at length their belief in a living God who walked the earth.
I had breast surgery. Like, oh, okay. The sky is blue. But I feel like, what? Okay, and I think that God is everywhere around us. That's normal. That God is a person. What? That God is a person and energy at the same time. At the same time, yes.
But it was their performance itself that proved to be the strangest part of their time on the show.
Hello.
Vi se mene ne sjećate, jel da? Ja? Ne. Prije puno godina.
Aha, ja se nas sjećam kad sam snimala s
škola, jel ide Harber, ide?
This isn't how you do that, bro. This isn't how you do that, bro. She tried to ego you, bro. You know, like, you could have brought this up at a different time. Like, now it's probably not the fucking time. Like, it's the hard world working. I apologize, but I really
Roman's introduction was fairly uncomfortable, as he made mention of a time that he had met one of the judges years before, who clearly had no recollection of the encounter, which seemed to frustrate him, as his demeanor quickly became hostile.
What is your talent? Oh my god, I didn't have any talent. Work. Yo, dude, like, why are you mad that she made something out of herself, my nigga? Damn, bro, you mad that she got connections and shit now and she forgot about your lame ass back in fucking high school whenever y'all met? Nigga, you being lame as bitch. The fuck? I love it, don't worry. Hello, take it easy, take it easy. I think what
leading to Roman receiving his first X before he even sang a single note.
Bro, like
nigga, dance, nigga, do something, bro. Like, why are you here to fucking argue, bro? You dead could have did that on the DMs and got left on delivered. You would have been all right, dude. She didn't even answer your question, nigga. She don't remember you, bro. You have a whole wife and a kid. Bro, you have a fucking wife and kid, bro. Like, worry about your life.
Da nemate talent, onda vas ja pitam pošto ste došli.
It was a rough start for the couple, and by the time they did get to perform, things only got worse.
And now, the end is near, and so I face the final curtain.
This Nosferatu ass music, bro. Y'all fucking suck.
Admittedly, the couple didn't sound awful.
I didn't my way. Ass song, bro. That shit sucked.
Here, the judges were frustrated by Roman's demeanor.
Nigga is never making rat caviar. Nigga, you're a loser.
Prompting all four of them to hit their ex.
Stay being on that shitty ass football team, nigga. Riding the bench.
Signaling the end of
Actually, I think he was a starter. Let me not do that.
Couple's performance. Or at least they thought.
Oh, that actually was the song.
I've loved and cried.
As the two just kept on performing, playing over the sounds of the judges shouting their name and the deafening silence from the crowd.
Starting goalkeeper, that nigga cold as hell. Nigga needs to stick to being on the field, bro. Nigga needs to hop up off the stage. Like, it just wasn't your calling. Yo, cut their mic.
Going until a producer finally had to step in from behind the camera and officially cut them off. But even then, the couple continued their antics, this time by protesting the judge's decision.
How the fuck did they continue their shit, nigga? If this is my show, we're cutting the fucking mic. Cut their mic. Cut their fucking mic and get him and punch him in his fucking throat. I don't give a fuck. Punch him in his fucking throat. And get the assistant, get the girl assistant, bring the girl assistant in here. You're gonna punch her in the throat. All of them gonna, and matter of fact, get your son. He's gonna punch the son in the throat. Fuck it. Everybody's getting punched.
Even threatening to
punch them in their shit. Why are they still on the stage?
To the newspaper and expose their behavior to the press, all while Roman stood angrily to the side, glaring at the panel before him. And with that, Roman and Bianca's time on Super Talent was over, and they not only walked away without receiving the grand prize, but they also left with shattered reputations, as this segment became notorious among fans of Super Talent, with the couple being considered one of the most unusual acts to ever feature on the show. But despite its virality, this performance isn't what Roman is most widely remembered for today.
How? It has to be something with soccer, right? You are a starting goalkeeper. Dude. Imagine being on this nigga's team. Imagine being a striker, dude. Imagine being a right wing, right? You see this nigga every day in practice. You scrolling your Twitter one day. He's butt-ass nigga walking Skid Row. Whatever the fuck they have in Croatia. Why? Why is he
on
doing
February 6th, 2022, residents in Rijeka, Croatia were met with the sight of a fully nude man wandering the city streets. It was Roman Bernata. And while most stared on in amusement, laughing to themselves and snapping photos, what they were witnessing was actually one of the most disturbing events the city had ever seen. After his disastrous performance just 1 year prior, Roman continued to pursue a career in singing, taking every opportunity he could to share his music with the world, often joining Bianca on her YouTube channel, and singing on the streets for tips, where he actually made a decent amount of money. Though because of his notorious television moment, he would often be harassed and even have the money he earned stolen from him. One day, while performing outside of a
Hey, hell nah, dude. Dude, he's getting hawked down for his fucking tip money, dude.
A local soup kitchen, he was introduced to a woman named Darnika Krevic, a 67-year-old who relied on the
Yo, bro, these niggas, these niggas pulling up to his shows and taking his tip money, bro. Oh my god, I'm weak.
Soup kitchen for consistent
Holy
meals.
shit.
And after hearing Roman sing, she became a legitimate fan of his music, leading to the two striking up a friendship. And despite Darnika not having much, she offered to take Roman to a local coffee shop on February 6th, 2022.
Niggas singing on the side of a street for fucking tips. Dude, just get a job. Like, it's really not that hard. Like, some niggas, bro, sometimes I just don't understand it, bro. You know, I get it. Like, sometimes it's hard to find a good paying job, right? But it's not hard to find a job, nigga. It's not hard to find a job. Like, bro, when you don't have shit, it's not like you don't got anything. Nigga, you have working arms, legs, a brain. You can flip fucking burgers, dude, and be decent.
where she treated him to a warm cup of tea on a cold winter day. And so the two sat inside a restaurant called the Cafe Pin.
I gotta go back.
Went to a local distant meals, named Darnika Krevich, a 67-year-old who relied on the soup kitchen for consistent meals. And after hearing Roman sing, she became a legitimate fan of his music, leading to the two striking up a friendship.
Cool.
And despite Darnika not having much, she offered to take Roman to a local coffee shop on February 6th, 2022, where she treated him to a warm cup of tea on a cold winter day. And so the two sat inside a restaurant called the Cafe Pin, with everything seeming completely normal, until a server noticed that Roman started to look almost sickly, like he could barely keep himself upright, as his body was starting to slump over the table, his eyes barely open.
Nigga look like John Morrison.
The server rushed over to help, but Roman recoiled and shouted, "Just try calling the police on me."
What?
And so, not wanting to escalate things, the server left, only returning later to drop off their check, which is when Roman's behavior took an even more drastic turn. He began feeling around his pants pocket for his wallet, before looking desperately around the table, but there was no sign of it. And so he grabbed Darnika's bag and rifled through it, before yelling, "You snake, you whore, where's my wallet?" Though when he still couldn't find it in Darnika's bag, his anger turned to violence as he stood up and rushed Darnika, grabbing her by the head and shaking her, screaming in her face, accusing her of being a thief. This time, multiple people inside the cafe rushed over to hold him back, but Roman was too strong, too angry, and with seemingly no effort at all, he pushed everyone away, completely unfazed by their attempts.
There wasn't one nigga that could overpower him in this bar?
In that moment, no one could have stopped Roman. Darnika was entirely helpless, and so the crowd inside the cafe watched as Roman grabbed her by the neck and dragged her behind the bar, and then proceeded to kick, then stomp, and then jump.
What the fuck do you mean everybody watch? Gang, what? If y'all niggas don't jump him?
Directly on her, over and over again, each time landing on her head.
Listen, I'm not the type of, look. It depends on the situation for me to get in a public situation. Bro, if I see some shit like this, nigga, I'm getting the fuck up. If me and Queen sitting at the table, I'm getting the fuck up. I'm charging at this nigga, bro.
He was a rage so demented that
and we're gonna jump his little, oh my god, I can't even say that, bro. We're gonna jump that nigga.
Actually began to smile, a wide manic grin, as he jumped and chanted, "Whore, witch, die." After what felt like an eternity, Roman stopped, before sprinting out of the restaurant, leaving Darnika entirely unrecognizable and dead on the floor.
Oh
the
my
same
god.
floor where, just feet away, Roman's wallet lay, having innocently fallen.
So he... Okay. So not only is he a... But he's... Heard you.
Out of his pocket shortly before.
No, he's not even just... He's absolutely... Like a genuine...
Outside, Roman removed his blood-soaked clothes and walked completely naked into the city center.
Oh my god, this is the same day.
Much to the amusement of the passerbys who had no idea what he had just done, until eventually he made his way into a nearby police station and blankly stated, "I am not well." This sentiment was true in so many regards. Roman hadn't been well for quite a long time. Since a young age, it's believed he had dealt with undiagnosed schizophrenia that had led to uncontrollable anger issues, before developing an alcohol and substance abuse problem that only exacerbated his symptoms. And by the time he was an adult, Roman became so delusional that he believed he was a disciple sent from God to
Nigga, where did your wife go?
touch the world with his music, something that he eventually convinced Bianca of as well. So in their Super Talent episode, when Bianca mentioned their love for a living God that walked the earth,
oh my god,
she was
she's talking
likely
about him.
referencing Roman.
Ali ja osjetim, stvarno imam taj kontakt sa živim Bogom i mislim da je Bog svugdje oko nas, da je Bog osoba, energija, istovremeno, da.
Roman was severely unwell, and no one in his life was keeping him in check. In fact, those closest with him were only feeding his delusions, with all of his issues coming to a head on the day of the incident. And when he realized his wallet was gone, Roman rushed to assume that Darnika was the one who robbed him, perhaps as a result of having his money stolen frequently on the streets.
So because you got bullied, bro, you just gonna assume everybody just bullying you? Cause niggas coming in and taking your tip money, and there was too much. They was overpowering you and shit, and you couldn't do nothing. Then you had to go and overpower a woman, bro. That not just a woman that's trying to help you too.
But the sad reality was, in a sea of people trying to exploit and mock Roman, Darnika was one of the few who actually truly cared about him, and legitimately believed in his talents. And yet, he killed her in one of the most evil ways imaginable, all over a simple misunderstanding that was entirely his fault. In the end, Roman Bernardo was deemed unfit to stand.
Holy fuck, they're doing that nigga, dude. Shit. He deserved that too. I hope they break him.
Trial, and was never sentenced to serve any jail time, instead being given a 40-year sentence in a mental health facility, where he's since been described as a model patient.
How
with his good behavior awarding him the opportunity to leave the facility for days at a time, for therapeutic purposes.
Bro, how does that happen? How the fuck does that happen?
Nature is king here. Man can only watch and be humble.
There's nothing out there. It's your imagination.
How the fuck do they just let people like that just go? Like what?
It was the start of yet another adventure for the crew of the television show Gardener's World. This British program has been on the air since the 1960s and provides viewers with tips on how to maintain their garden while showing off a variety of unique plant life, which often brought them to remote areas of the globe. This particular episode was filmed on February 5th, 2020 in the Drakensberg mountain range of Lesotho, Africa, with the
2020? Did he say 2020?
Host, Nick Bailey, making the long journey to track down one specific flower.
One species which grows wild all over the country and has been a real favourite with British gardeners for generations is the gladiolus.
This delicate flower would have been familiar with many of the show's viewers, as it was quite popular in the UK. But in this region, there existed a unique species that had only been seen a handful of times in the last century, since it only grew in one particular valley in this one particular mountain range. Its scientific name is the Gladiolus microcarpus, and there were two people who knew it better than anyone else. Rod and Rachel Saunders were well-renowned botanists who studied the world of South African flowers in depth,
with cool looking flower,
with their favorite being the gladioli, as they would spend days and even months on end roaming areas just like this to learn everything they could about them, making them the perfect duo to help with the show.
Why gladioli? There's so many different plant species in South Africa you could have picked.
I think their beauty. Some of them are so exquisitely beautiful, you actually just want to sit down and cry when you see them.
But even with their vast knowledge of this region...
Yo, do you think, like... I'm not gonna lie, I just thought of this 20 seconds ago. When people with big-ass beards like this, when they sleep, can they sleep on their stomach, or does it just be, like, tickling the fuck at their chest?
There was always an element
Shiyuki, what's poppin'?
Of danger when traversing it. It's
like, I feel like if my beard, like I ain't never let my beard get to that length, you feel me? But my beard does get to a crazy length. But like, if your beard got all the way down here, like how the fuck do you sleep? You don't sleep on your back, right? Yo, I've been trying to sleep on my back, but every time I do, like it just reminds me of sleeping in a casket, bro. And then like I just can't do it. Like
often volatile.
Just it make me feel weird.
Conditions are known to turn on a dime, making safely navigating this area extremely difficult.
And I be sleeping on my stomach, bro, and then my ribs be hurting, bro. Like I might just stop sleeping entirely.
Downright impossible. This was apparent even on the day of filming, as a dense fog had rolled in, and given the steep and rocky landscape, one wrong step could spell disaster. This didn't stop the crew from carrying onward though, as Rod and Rachel were relentless in their pursuit. They would do anything to find these flowers, and sure enough, the segment ended as they did exactly that.
We've come about 4 times looking for this plant, and this is the best I've ever seen it. It is...
I've been Mitchell on TikTok and finally decided to check in.
Holy
Geyser! Appreciate you hopping in, my nigga.
Absolutely gorgeous.
With that, Rod and Rachel's time on Gardener's World was over, but their journey through this area certainly wasn't. As the cameras cut, the crew made their way back to their makeshift base camp miles away, where they said their goodbyes, with Nick Bailey capturing a photo with a beloved couple.
Is this shit AI, nigga? What?
And sharing it onto Twitter before parting ways, leaving the couple behind. As rather than returning to their home in Cape Town, this was actually just the start of what would be a multi-month expedition into this region, with the Ngoi Forest Reserve being their final destination.
Yo, watch your mouth.
Along with being botanists, the couple were also avid seed collectors, and had started a business which shipped the seeds they had found to other plant lovers around the world. And while here, they made it their mission to find some of these ultra-rare gladioli seeds. And sure enough, on February 8th, 2020, Rod and Rachel sent a text to one of their employees at the seed.
Yo, is that not a fucking onion? Yo, would y'all go hiking like this or what? I don't know. I feel like this is a little too Caucasian for me. I don't personally like being out in like mountains and shit like that, cause like I don't know, bro. I don't know what's roaming out there, nigga. Like I'm gonna go to sleep, wake up, it's gonna be a polar bear just fucking my shit in the morning, bro. Like I don't even feel like dealing with that.
Mailing business, which contained a photo of the exact flower they were looking for. But despite this text seeming like a sign of more good things to come, the reality was far more bleak, as this text would ultimately be the last the couple would ever send.
What that mean?
Out of nowhere, communication with Rod and Rachel had stopped entirely, and for days no one heard anything from the duo, prompting that same employee they had sent the image to report them as missing on the 10th of February.
Okay.
It was a devastating turn of events, but one that was always a possibility. Poor weather, a wrong turn, an injury, anything could have derailed their expedition, as again, this area was notoriously dangerous, with it seeming all but certain that they had fallen victim to the unpredictable fury of Mother Nature, though this belief would quickly shift.
Man, I don't fuck with Mother Nature at all. Nigga, I don't give a fuck if I'm walking in that bitch in broad daylight. Dude, I'm alright, bro. I'm cool, bro. They got mountain lions, all types of shit. Bro, have y'all seen mountain lions, bro? Mountain lions, them niggas will kill anybody that walks, bro. Anything that has a post, they kill that shit.
Thanks to the discovery of the couple's car.
And they strong as shit.
It was found by authorities abandoned by the edge of the Tugela River, and had been emptied of virtually everything inside. However, there was something left behind. As in the trunk, authorities would find a massive pool of blood that belonged to Rachel. Just days after filming, Rod and Rachel were making their way towards the Nagoy Forest Reserve, growing more and more excited by the discoveries they were making, oblivious to the fact that in the woods around them, they were being watched, hunted even, and not by an animal, but rather by a man. His name was Saifandine Aslam Delvicio, a local of the area that the couple was traversing.
Little fucking loser, bro. Just put that effort into a job, nigga. Oh my god. How do you have that much time, dude?
And on February 9th, he allegedly sent
Holy shit. Nigga just sits out just waiting in the fucking forest, bro. It's like, do you... Oh my god, bro. Damn, nigga. Fuck. It's like you're just a waste of air, bro.
Text to his wife, Bibi Patel, telling her that he had found a good target, and that he was now in pursuit, with said target being Rod and Rachel. Later that night, the couple made their camp and began to drift off in their tent, while Delvicio allegedly watched on.
Bro, it's like, it's so crazy to me, bro. It's like, y'all know there's 7, matter of fact, I'm gonna go on this fucking rant, bro. Y'all know how there's 7 billion people in the world, right? Listen, there's like 7 billion people in the world, right? Boom. Bro, doing the math, the fact that we're all like humans right now is literally like a miracle. If you think about it, my nigga, like think about how many sperm cells there is, dude. There could have been like 800 fucking trillion. It's 8 now? Jesus, I didn't even know that.
Holy shit.
I apologize. Listen, there could have been like 800 trillion fucking people born. The fact that we're even here is a miracle. Niggas took this one life, this one like this breath of air, and they used it to hunt in fucking forest for other niggas, for old folk, for any folk. It's like, bro, you're a genuine loser, dude. Holy shit.
Once he was certain that they had fallen asleep, he made his move, approaching the tent, then tearing it open, and then standing above
like your life means nothing.
Couple.
Literally, literally. Not to you or me, nigga.
Rod and Rachel would be brutally bludgeoned to death before they could even react, as they lay helplessly, still inside their sleeping bags. Text messages indicate that Delvicio then enlisted the help of his wife Bibi, as well as his friend Musa Jackson, to help discard the
body. Man, and her too. She not fucking slick, man. Both y'all, bro. Both y'all finna be burning for the rest of y'all fucking life. Please. Whatever happens, whatever else happened. I guess not life, bro. Y'all gonna be fucking burning.
Using the couple's own car to transport them to the one place they were certain they would never be found. the Tugela River, as there was something about this stretch of water that they believed would make these bodies impossible to find. Crocodiles. And so they pulled up to the banks of the river as the crocodiles quietly watched on from a distance and dumped the bodies of Rod and Rachel into the water, where they were immediately devoured. They thought it was the perfect plan. However, it thankfully failed to work as well as they had hoped, as in the following weeks, fishermen would happen upon both of the corpses, or at least what remained of them, as they were in such bad shape that it would take nearly 2 full months for them to be identified.
Bro.
As for why this attack happened, we still don't fully know, as the trial is still ongoing, with Delvicchio proclaiming his innocence, which is why everything is alleged at the moment, but the evidence is damning. Messages on—
like, there's literally no upside, bro. There was no, you killed the 2 old folk, then what? Is that like a fetish? Like an obsession?
Delvicchio's phone paint a clear picture that he was responsible for this, with his motive appearing to be religious differences between him and the Saunders.
And why the fuck did I not see the bitch too, bro? She get called a bitch. Why did I not see the bitch too? Where is she at? She wasn't next to him, right? Where is she at?
As well as money, as after the slayings, large sums of money were withdrawn from the couple's bank accounts, along with lavish purchases being made on their credit cards, with one of the receipts from the shopping spree being found inside of Bibi's purse. The evidence is almost impossible to deny, but while we wait for justice to be served—
So they did all that to get the money. Why didn't you just rob him? Why didn't you just rob him? Rob him. Like, I don't know. Like, why? Like, why they have to go like that?
It's important to refocus on those who won't be here to see it happen.
R.I.P., man.
Rod and Rachel truly did nothing wrong. They were 2 incredibly wholesome people who were just trying to find and connect with the flower that they loved so dearly. And while their interview days before their death is an undeniably dark television moment, it also serves as an incredible tribute, as one of the last things they ever did in their lives was share their love and passion for gladioli with the world, the flower that they ultimately gave their lives to find.
Trek to get here, and what an incredible treat to see such a special plant in such a niche environment. Thank you.
Damn, man. R.I.P.
It's nice to be here.
R.I.P., man. You only get 1 life, bruh. Man, you only get 1 life, dude. Live it up to the fullest. And don't be a fucking loser, dude. Please cherish your shit. Don't be a fucking loser. These niggas are literal losers, and RIP to everybody else, man. For real. Great video by Nick Crowley, though.